A TomTom satellite navigation unit drizzled in honey. The Adventure Bike Shop.
Rubbish adverts.
Great at adventure.
Hey guys, and welcome to the new YouTube videos from Adventure Bike TV. Of course, there'll still be the high-end videos from Graham on Patreon and Amazon Prime. So, what will these videos entail? They are reviews of bikes from certain reviewers, and they'll be available every month. So, let's get on with it. For our first review, it is the famous BMW R1250 GS Adventure. Right, let's get into this bad boy. We're here at M&P's BMW Centre, and it's as wet as an otter's pocket, so I'll be quick. You have the typical GS design with its boxer engine and massive front tanks. These tanks will take you about 389 miles. I think the power is about 136 brake horsepower, which is plenty, and the basics start at about 14 grand. This one, which is the top end one, tops at just a hair under 18,500. So, not cheap bikes. So, what do I think of the bike? I've already had a 2007 1200 GS Adventure, so I'm quite used to it. But saying that, this is an even bigger bike. The styling, it's okay, but it's just a mammoth bike. The TFT screen is all very nice. I'll be honest with you, it's a computer nerd's wet dream, this bike. It's got everything. Yeah, what can you say? It's fully loaded. It has everything you could want on it. It's a brilliant adventure bike. I have yet to be convinced of a bike this size to do some proper travelling, and especially with this much electronics. But hopefully I'll be proved wrong on this ride.
Oh my god, it's so wet. So wet. Right, so let's go. Yeah, it's got a bit of pull. Bloody hell. Alright. Quite like that. But saying that, looking down, yeah, a bit wide. I feel a bit exposed with my legs this wide apart, but no, going good. Going good. Okay, Tom's asking me to pull up. Right, let's see what. Oh, okay. He wants a race. He does know I've got about 40 brake horsepower more than him. Right, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. There we go. There we go. Destroyed. Right. Tom's been taking his hands off the handlebars to see how stable this bike is. I'm just going to do one better than him. I'm going to stand up and take my hands off the handlebars. There we go. I'm in Titanic. There we are. I tell you what, I really like this screen. I really like the TFT display. Oh look, I can see my tyre pressure. I've never had that before. That's brilliant. How many miles have I got? 60 miles in the tank. Is that it? It seems a lot heavier. I'm sure. I'm probably sure this isn't right. This isn't right. I'll have to check it when I get back. But I'm sure only 60 miles worth of fuel in this tank. It feels heavier than that.
So we've been riding all morning in the pouring rain. I am soaked through because I've got the waterproof inners for my trousers. And let's talk about Sam's 1250 first. What are we thinking, Sam?
Well, first of all, Tom, I would like to say that I am perfectly dry.
Thank you so much.
And I'd just like to shout out to Revit, because this is an awesome gear.
This is an awesome gear.
Yeah, it's awesome gear.
That's not very good English, though, is it? It's not awesome English.
Oh, well, it's the gear that's awesome, not my English. That's fine. 1250. It's a big bike. It's a really big bike. I mean, I've only got 60 miles worth of left of fuel, and it still feels like it's fully fueled up. Tanks are wide. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a comfortable bike. Super comfortable. It's got all the gadgets. I mean, I'll be honest with you, you spend half your time fiddling around with modes, which is great, and makes riding interesting. But yeah, it's a 1200 GS, well, 1250 GS in this case. You know,
Very informative, thanks.
well, it's a lot smoother than the old GS. I mean, my 2007-2008 GS Adventure was fine. You don't get that wobble anymore. Yeah, I don't know what else. It's a GS, and if you've never ridden one, they're a fantastic bike. But is it worth? Well, this one I think is about just a smidgen under £18,500. 18,500. Is it worth it? I don't.
It was just a spoiler, wasn't it?
Don't know. What about yours?
Right, we've had some lunch, now back on the bike. Let's see what we can do with this. Again, I mean, I know it's a heavy bike, but when you're riding it, it really doesn't feel like it. It's not as flickable, I have to say, but yeah, this is good. Tell you what, I like the standing up position. I'm sure they've built in some place in the tanks where you can kind of just rest your legs. As always, you know, leaps and bar rises, but really comfortable. Is it a bit low? I don't know. But anyway, beautiful. Yes, coming up to a bridge now. Let's see how loud this exhauster really is. That sounds effing awesome, I have to say. I'll give Aquapovic their dues. They do make some good exhausts.
So, back from the ride with the BMW R1250 GS Adventure. What do I think? It's a fantastic bike. It really is. It's got all the gizmos you could ever want. It's comfortable. It's a relaxing ride. The standing position is amazing. The way that your legs can just kind of tuck into the tank is great. The down points of it are that it's a big bike. I mean, I had 60 miles in the tank and I still felt that if I hadn't been told, I would have thought it was nearly full with fuel. It's so heavy. And as Tom can attest with his F850 GS Adventure, it's a wide boy. It is big. Your legs are splayed. But saying that, once you're on the road, once you're riding it, you don't feel it. The boxer engine itself has been smoothed out, so you don't get that boxer wobble when you take off, which is nice. The TFT screen is spot on. I mean, everything's legible, you can read it, it's great. But the point is, for £18,500, which was, well, just under £18,500, which was the cost of mine, which had all the bits, bells and whistles on, I'm not too sure I would drop that amount of money on a mountain bike, on a motorbike even. There are so many big engine bikes out there for a lot less. So would I have one? If I had money to throw away, yes, because it would be the perfect touring bike. But if I had to have one bike in my garage, unfortunately, I don't have that kind of money to throw around, so that would be a no for me.
A Helinox chair with crisp, fresh iceberg lettuce. The Adventure Bike Shop.
Rubbish adverts.
Great at adventure.